all their kids to a regular school. You are 1%. You are queer. You are weird. But you know, that's a good thing. Ask me why. Every great person is crazy. Think about it. Somebody who wants to climb Mount Everest. Do you know what Mount Everest is? Let's make it local. Mount Apo, the highest mountain in the Philippines. Think about it. Anyone who says, I want to climb that mountain, Mount Everest, let's say, or Mount Apo, isn't he crazy? That's so difficult. You might die there, but they're able to do it. Why? They're crazy. You know, you have a dream to raise up parents. You have a dream to raise your children to become like Jesus one day. And you know, it's crazy, but you do it, and you make a decision to homeschool. So once again, tell somebody beside you, thank you for being crazy. And you know what? Great people have crazy dreams. And I pray that you have crazy dreams. What I'm going to do is I want to share this to the children first. Children, can I talk to you for a while? Thank you. Many, many years ago, when I was still young and handsome. Yeah. Thank you. I came home from one prayer meeting so inspired by one Bible verse. It's Deuteronomy 30 verse 17. It says this. God says, I have given you a choice between blessing and curse. That kind of like shook me up. I said, what? God is giving me a choice between blessing and curse. I always thought that blessing and curse fell from the sky. You're walking on the sidewalk and then something hits your head. Ouch! Oy, blessing, thank you. And then you walk and, ouch, what's that? Curse. You know, I always thought it just fell from the sky. And then there's this Bible verse that tells me blessing and curse is a choice. Now, friends, if in front of you God says, what do you want, blessing or curse? What will you say? Blessing. Of course, you'll say blessing. So anyway, I came home from the prayer meeting at about 10 in the evening or 10:30 in the evening. I could not sleep. I said, Lord, I'm going to choose the blessing. And so I got my pad paper and I started writing 15 pages of every blessing I wanted in life. Every dream, every goal, I just wrote it down. I slept at 3 in the morning. I wrote down stuff like, because I was single at that time, you know, when I wrote that. So I said, I'm going to get married and I'm going to have a great marriage. I wrote down that I'm going to have a romantic date with my wife, whoever she will be, he said, once a week, you know. And I just kept on writing down stuff like, I'm going to be a best-selling author. When I wrote that down, I'm going to be a best-selling author, I laughed. You know why I laughed? Ask me why. Because in college, there is a subject there called English 103. It was an essay writing subject. And every essay I gave to the professor, it came back to me with a big letter F on top. And F did not mean fantastic. I was not a good writer. But anyway, I wrote down on those 15 pages, I will be a best-selling author. I also wrote down stuff like what? I wrote down, I'll be a best-selling author. I'll have a TV show. I'll have a ministry for the poorest of the poor. It will be called Anawim. It's going to be built on a 5-hectare property. I will live with the poorest of the poor, and I will have my own nipa hut. And in that nipa hut, when I stand at the porch, maski nipa hut, at least my porch. If I stand at the porch and I look at my right, there will be rice field. If I look in front of me, there will be a fish pond. If I look behind the nipa hut, there will be a coconut tree. Ask me why. Why? Bagay naman, di ba? Nipa hut, coconut tree, bagay. So I wrote it down. I wrote these down, and I want you to know that I have, that happened many, many years ago. I was still single. I've been married for 20 years now, so you know how long that was. I wrote down even financial dreams. I wrote down everything that I wanted to. And I wrote down there, when I have kids, I'll spend time with them. I'll play with them every day when they're small. And I'll keep on, every day I'll just communicate with them and love them. You want to know what has happened so far?
Yes.
Since the time I wrote those dreams? I got married. Been 20 years now. I've had a romantic date with my wife for the past 20 years every single week. I can see some wives squeezing the hand of their husband. One time I had a date with my wife, and in the middle of dessert, she reached for my hand, squeezed it, looked me in the eye, and she said, "Bo, you are a great husband." I felt there were wings in my heart. I wanted to tell her something, but I did not. You know what I wanted to tell her? I wanted to tell her, that's in page 3, paragraph 4 of a 15-page document I wrote down a long, long time ago. Best-selling author, I wrote on those pages. Today I have written more than 50 best-selling books. When I go to National Bookstore, I see my name there. I tell myself, I wonder what my professor in English 103 would be saying right now if he sees my name there. We have a TV show. Anawim came to pass, where it's built on a 5-hectare property. I remember that night, that beautiful night. I can never forget it. We were tucking the lolos and lolas, to sleep, and we were kissing them goodnight. And we pick up lolos and lolas from the streets. You know that, the abandoned elderly. And I remember that night because the guy in charge of building the homes, he whispered to me, "Bo, you can sleep in your nipa hut already. It's done, it's fixed." I said, "Wow, that's amazing." And so on that night, after all the work, I went to the nipa hut. I stood at the porch. I looked at my right, rice field. I looked in front of me, fish pond. I looked behind me, coconut tree. And I started to cry. The reason why I was crying was this. A few years ago, they were words on paper. And now, they have become reality. One of the things I've realized is that we underestimate the power that God has given us to make our dreams come true. You have the power. And I pray that you have crazy dreams and write them down. Tell somebody beside you, isulat mo. I'll tell you why you need to write it down. Writing it down is so powerful. Ask me. Why? I'll give you my experience. When I wrote down those 15 pages, I did not just put them in a drawer and then forget about it. You know what I did? Every single morning, part of my prayer life, I would grab those 15 pages and I would read them every single day. 95% of everything I wrote on those 15 pages has come true. 95%. Why? I'll tell you, you write down your dreams, you pray for them every single day, you read through them, and then you believe that the person who is crazy enough to dream crazy dreams will have a higher chance of making them come true. I want to challenge you, young people. Your life is before you. In front of you is a beautiful white canvas. You're a painter, and God puts paint brushes in your hands, and He gives you beautiful colors of red and magenta and spell fuchsia, red na lang, and silver and gold. And God says, paint something beautiful. Your life is before you. Grab your 15 pages. Write your dreams. You do not need to consult the horoscope to find out your future. You do not need to go to a palm reader, a tarot reader, a futurist, a manghuhula, and ask, anong mangyayari sa buhay ko 10 years from now, 20 years from now? You don't have to do that. Because God has given you the power to create your future. Once again, I challenge you, be crazy enough to have crazy dreams. Write your dreams. Ask God God, what do you want for my future? Write them down, pray for them, and create a beautiful future. I want to see you 10 years, 20 years from now, and you come up to me and you tell me, Brother Bo, I heard that talk on my graduation day, on that moving up day. I did what you did. I wrote down my dreams. And 95% of what I've written down has come true. Continue to be crazy. God bless you.